James Comey and John Brennan now under criminal investigation related to the Trump-Russia probe. Do you want to see these two guys behind bars?
Well, I know nothing about it other than what I read today, but I will tell you, I think they're very dishonest people. I think they're crooked as hell, and maybe they have to pay a price for that. I believe they are truly bad people and dishonest people, so whatever happens, happens.
Totally nails it again. President Trump on those two very deceitful people who really have it coming to them, right? The wheels of justice. It's taken a long time. Comey and Brennan. We talked a lot about Comey last night. How about Brennan? Let's dig down. First of all, these guys implicate themselves in the silly books they wrote. They wrote books, and they gave it all up. They thought Trump was never coming back. They could write this, get away with it, and now, oh boy, they wish they never wrote these books. Their criminality, or at least their lack of ethics, on full display. It's amazing what they put in print and what they said in their audio books. We have the audio books. Those are great. Brennan, director of the CIA, scary guy. He's the kind of guy who gives kids bad dreams, right? I mean, just look at him. CIA director, 2013 to 2017 under Obama, second term, and he'd been hanging around the government for basically 35 years or so, a real deep stater. And in his own book, he literally can't stand the sight of Donald Trump. He goes there with a professional responsibility to brief the president-elect on the awesome responsibilities that he's about to face, to tell him about the world. All he wants to do is talk about Russia interference in the election, which he helped cook up, the whole damn hoax. And he just tells everybody, flat out, he hates the guy.
I stared at Trump, shook my head in disgusted disagreement, and bit my tongue nearly hard enough to draw blood.
Whoa. He just met the guy. That was in Trump Tower. President Trump was asking basic questions about intelligence gathering. President Trump never had a chance with these people. And you really don't want a chance with these people. We want these people out of government. Anyway, yes, there was tension between President Trump and the intelligence community. Somebody had to call him out for missing 9/11, no weapons of mass destruction, and they were leaking and trying to sabotage his campaign. So it was a difficult situation. President Trump tried to make it right. On his first full day of being president, he goes to Langley, Virginia. This is January 21st, 2017, and says, "I love you" to the intelligence guys over and over again. Check it out.
I want to say that there is nobody that feels stronger about the intelligence community and the CIA than Donald Trump. There's nobody. The wall behind me is very, very special. We really appreciate what you've done in terms of showing us something very special. And your whole group, these are really special, amazing people. Very, very few people could do the job you people do. And I want to just let you know, I am so behind you. And I know maybe sometimes you haven't gotten the backing that you've wanted. And you're going to get so much backing. Maybe you're going to say, please don't give us so much backing. Mr. President, please, we don't need that much backing. But you're going to have that. I believe that this group is going to be one of the most important groups in this country toward making us safe, toward making us winners again, toward ending all of the problems. We have so many problems. I can only say that I am with you 1,000%. I just wanted to really say that I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job, and we're going to start winning again, and you're going to be leading the charge. So thank you all very much. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you all very much. Have a good time. I'll be back. I'll be back. Thank you.
Wow. Now, if you worked there, how would you feel? If you were a normal person and you worked there, you'd feel great. The President of the United States. Okay, we may have had some differences, but he's totally with us. John Brennan, who hates President Trump, watch this on TV. And he coordinates with all of his swamp friends. And somehow it's the swamp, right? So everything good is bad and everything bad is good. Everything's backwards. This is what he had to say about what you just saw.
My former colleagues, fellow retirees, as well as serving CIA officers, began texting me, with many simply writing, WTF? Other texts were not nearly as kind. As Trump was still talking, I told Kathy that I couldn't take it anymore. I felt physically nauseated watching and listening to him. I'm going to the gym to blow off some steam, I said as I hurried out the front door before Trump finished speaking. At the gym, I got on a stationary bike where the TVs were replaying Trump's remarks. The more I heard, the angrier I got.
That is a person with a screw loose or is just so in love with the swamp and so hateful of President Trump. You heard it. We heard it, and you heard what he said about it. So other things in this book, I know these guys tried to sabotage President Trump, and there is a legal case to be made that, well, he broke the law in doing so. Something else that these guys are in love with, the perks of their job. I'm actually reading these books. He can't get enough, and he just shows off. I get an SUV, my armored SUV, the comfort of my SUV. He can't stop talking about this black SUV. Guess what? That's what they're all in it for, the perks, the bodyguards. Half the book is about the perks of being the CIA director. And Comey, too. When Comey's at FBI, the thing that he loves the most is the plane they give him that he seems to abuse. Yes, my FBI agents flew me hundreds of times all over the place. The plane, the FBI plane. Let's take that FBI plane. Maybe they need it. He doesn't need it. You know, I don't know. The hostage negotiation team maybe needs it. Listen to these guys. I think that this is bragging, but that's what the swamp is all about. The perks, the comfort, the power. My security detail was waiting outside my Herndon, Virginia house, as they unfailingly did every morning when I was CIA director.
A small fleet of fully armored SUVs carrying the directors of National Intelligence, the Central Intelligence Agency, the National Security Agency, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation made its way toward the tall, shining gold tower in the middle of Manhattan.
I showered, shaved, and dressed in the private bathroom that is part of the director's suite on the 7th floor. I loved being in my CIA office, sipping hot coffee and consuming highly classified intelligence reports as the early morning sun crept slowly skyward over the tall trees dominating the horizon between Langley and Washington, D.C., was the closest I ever came to a professional nirvana.
She and her dog, both wearing expensive coats against a cold Fifth Avenue day, passed through our tight pack of dark suits and armed men. Chief spies holding locked bags with our nation's secrets.
By the way, Brennan is more infatuated with the shower he gets in the office than he is with President Trump. Wouldn't even pay President Trump the basic respect, but he's in awe of that silly office with the view. More importantly, though, Comey here does play a trick like J. Edgar Hoover allegedly played. Sexual blackmail was like a big thing back then, and from what I hear, it was largely used against gay people. That was like a real thing. It was persecution. And if you were gay, you could be blackmailed in the 50s and 60s. Well, if you were straight like John F. Kennedy and you liked a lot of women, you could also be blackmailed. How did J. Edgar Hoover keep that job for so long? The name of that building is still the J. Edgar Hoover building. I think that tells us something about guys like Comey and the rest of them. They love it. This is part of why that's such a cool job, that you're more important than the political people who come and go. The Steele dossier, a load of crap, paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Anybody could see it. Comey presents it to the president-elect in an effort to sabotage him and maybe even take him out before Inauguration Day. And he basically admits it right there in his own dumb book.
There was a real chance that Donald Trump, politician and hardball dealmaker, would assume I was dangling the prostitute thing over him to jam him, to gain leverage. He might well assume I was pulling a J. Edgar Hoover, because that's what Hoover would do in my shoes. An eyebrow raise didn't quite do this situation justice. It was really going to suck.
No, that's what he was there for. He didn't have to do that. This was a flimsy piece of junk, but he did it so it would leak and hopefully in his heart of hearts eliminate President Trump, who he hated, just like Brennan there. Can I say one more thing about the company plane, the FBI plane? I want to go back to that, right? He's like a kid, like he had never been on an airplane before. His final day in office, right after he gets fired, he asked to go ride up with the pilots in the cockpit. I did that when I was 11, and they gave me one of those pins and a hat, and they actually let me steer. This is a long time ago, but anyway, check out Comey. He's like a little boy.
I asked the pilots if I could sit up front with them to experience the landing at Reagan Airport in a way I never had, despite hundreds of flights on FBI planes. I sat in the jump seat just behind them, headphones on, and watched two talented special agent pilots land the plane for the last time with me as a passenger. They had taken me all over the country and the world, and now squeezed my hand an extra beat as we said goodbye, with tears in our eyes.
It's so sad to see a bureaucrat leave the bureaucracy. Why would they? Such a BS story. At least the pilots, I know they weren't crying. Let me show you something about Comey and the FBI. You know how long he was there? Can you see that? 2013 to 2017. I'm sorry. It's not like he was J. Edgar Hoover there for 50 years. He didn't even know the pilots' names, for crying out loud. This is more important, though. He was busted for lying repeatedly, and it's about to happen, I believe, hopefully in court.
The Inspector General did not find misconduct by any FBI people. He found mistakes and negligence and oversight.
No, that's not true. In the case of Kevin Kleinsmith, he has referred it for a criminal investigation.
Right, but that's not been resolved. This business with the lawyer changing some email to a partner on the team.
Oh, this business, it hasn't been resolved. No one's found guilty. The presumption of innocence, and that is a deceiver right there. So one other thing I saw in his book, which I'm still going through, re-going through it. You know, he's super tall, right? 6'8" tall, whatever, doesn't matter. But for him, it's a big deal. And he's got a weird fixation on it in his own book. And he talks about, get this, he was in high school and tall, and he didn't play basketball. And he didn't play basketball in college. But he went around telling everybody he was a basketball hero. He told all of his friends in law school, in his adulthood. He lies about it. And it's in the book, possibly because it's the strange, he's a weird guy, I'm telling you. More to come on him and this. And when a good FBI starts investigating Comey and Brennan, who knows what they're going to find. But it's going to be good and richly deserved. By us, too, all right? We deserve this.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.